Hi guys, in this video I'm taking you on a small walkthrough of my T7. A lot of people ask me a lot of things about this bike, about how I did certain things, and so I will explain you today. I'll go through it from the front to the rear. So to start off at the front, obviously I have removed one brake disc and one brake caliper in order to have less unsprung weight, and I went for a high fender instead of a low fender. Last year I crashed my bike into a tree. I completely crushed my low fender as well as my headlight. I replaced that for a new one now, and I thought, why not go for a high fender this time. So that's what I did. I took a high fender from a Yamaha YZ450. I think it's the same model as the 125 and the 250. I made a little support. I didn't buy a kit. A lot of people ask me, which kit did you buy? I didn't buy a kit. I made a support myself, which is this nylon piece. It's basically just a support that uses the OEM rear holes of the fender, and it bolts onto the lower triple clamp. It's a piece that's milled from 3 centimeters at the rear to 2 centimeters in the front, and it gives you just the right amount of clearance at the radiator. So that's that. I made these little plates that block off the OEM holes for the low fender. A lot of people ask me, what tires are you running? I'm using Mad Sailor's MC360, both on the front and the rear. Really happy with these tires. I run them at 2 bars usually, and if it's really muddy I drop them to 1.5. They perform great even on a heavy bike like this. I upgraded the suspension to heavier springs in the front and in the rear, and I adjusted it to my liking. It's working great now. So I had to figure out a way in order to guide my brake lines and ABS cable. This is the way I did it. Tie wrap that to that little plate there, and it goes up, goes through this support that I made on the water jet, and then it goes all the way up to the master cylinder, which is a master cylinder from a Yamaha NMAX 125. It's basically just an 11mm Nissan pump that I needed in order to compensate for removal of one disc. So that's that. Going to the windscreen, I took an angle grinder and cut off about 1.5 inches from the top of the screen. Gives a lot less buffeting on the highways, especially being 6.5. It was horrible before, but now it's just absolutely great. No buffeting anymore, so I can cruise highways much more comfortable, especially using an MX helmet. I made a little support to reduce the vibration on the display and on the phone mount. This bolts onto the rear of the display. Also made a little foam mount that's adjustable. The angle is adjustable. I had to replace my handlebars too. Went for an RFX handlebar with a rental shape. I'm not sure exactly what the shape is called, but it's just like the OEM shape, but it's just the thicker part runs up much higher. It goes all the way to here instead of here. So I had to make some new bar clamps for the Bark Buster handguards that I'm using. Let's see. Oh, the handlebar supports are asymmetrical, so I turned those around so the bars are more forward, which gives better riding position, especially being as tall as me. I used to have risers that were 2.5 centimeters. I removed those and it gives me a lot better riding position. So I'm sticking with that. No risers anymore for me. I put on some Supermoto mirrors, which are very small, don't give a lot of visibility on the road, but they work great on off-road because I'm never hitting tree branches and stuff like that anymore. I cracked a few OEM mirrors before I thought why not replace them with these small ones, and I'm taking them off on MX tracks, so they're not in the way in any way. As you can tell, I put on a nice custom designed decal kit from MotoStill. Came out really nice, fits really nice, really happy with that. I used to have higher crash bars than these, but they would always hit my knees, especially when sticking out your feet MX style in the corners. So I removed those, bought some. I think these are from Motia, a German website that sells these lower bars. They protect the engine really well and they stick out just enough so your side fenders don't get the big hits, and they've been working just fine. So now I'm using a Hepco and Becker, I think it is, skid plate, specially designed for the Euro 5 model, using these X guards, I think they're called, from Acerbius. These foot pegs are from Bosley. It's a guy that custom designs and makes these in his workshops. They're working great. These are the standard position, but you can choose to lower them or place them more backwards. I haven't done any of that. So I removed the canister, as you can tell. There's no canister anymore. It's a piece of equipment that reuses the fuel fumes, and it's for the emission rules, and I didn't need that, so I removed it, saved some weight. You might be wondering why there's no wait, gotta go to the other side. Why there's no ABS sensor running to the rear wheel anymore, and that's because I removed all the ABS lines and wires except for the one in the front, because I need that for speedo, which saved me another, I don't know how much grams. It saved me a bit of weight, and I didn't need it because I had already pulled the fuse of the ABS pump. So now it's a lot cleaner, looks a lot cleaner. Removed all the brackets and stuff that I didn't need, and it's just one line going straight from the brake pump to the caliper, which gives a lot more braking power because there's no rerouting through the ABS pump. I just blocked off the ABS pump, and yeah, works great. So what else? These handles are from AliExpress. They are plastic, really lightweight. Helps me a lot with lifting up the bike in weird places where it's just hard to lift it the regular way. I can pull the bike aside by these handles and get it up again. So what else? Going to the other side. I moved to a bigger rear sprocket. This is a 48 teeth rear sprocket. Chain is just a golden chain, but it has no other specs than it's just a 525. I put on a chain guard, I think it's called, in order to prevent my chain from coming off when it's too loose. The 48 teeth sprocket gives a lot more torque, a lot more of a playful feel to the bike. and I put it on yesterday, and just a small ride yesterday, and I really enjoy it. It's the bike picks up much easier from down low, from like 1,500 RPM. It just goes even from a standstill. In second gear you can drive away much easier than it used to be. Obviously I'm using the rally seat. Being this tall gives me a lot better of a riding position. What else is there to show? I removed the bar end weights, so the handlebar is a lot smaller now. Gives me a much more maneuverability through trees and small spaces. And I think that's about it. So if there's any questions remaining regarding any of these upgrades of this build, just let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. And I hope to enjoy you this year with a lot of riding videos from my GoPro. I'll certainly be doing a lot of events and rides on motocross tracks and cross country and all those kind of things, so stay tuned.